Okay, it's just starting. Give me a few seconds. Countdown beginning. Okay. Okay, so what I've decided to do is on the fly, I'm actually streaming it to my YouTube channel because we've got about 18,500 subscribers there. So, right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you wherever you may be in the world. Welcome to the Vaughn George YouTube channel. And this is off the cuff to you, my Facebook members. I would like to introduce you all to one of the hottest new bands, I think, one of the hottest new duos, I think personally, and I interviewed them a couple of weeks ago. They are Raf and Ava. It is, I'm going to say it properly now, Rafael Colantonio and Ava Gore. How's that?
Perfect.
Good. Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us today. I know we had our introductory chat last time. So what I just want to do is, this is obviously done on my Patreon community. So to you guys on YouTube that are watching this, this is my Patreon community. We're going to start off by playing the music video of their brand new track, which is called Overdrive. And I heard the Overdrive track probably about 3 weeks, probably about a month ago, and I really, really liked it. So we're going to jump on now to share my screen. And here is, oh, cut. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to just open another screen. 1 second. Okay, let's close that. Okay, just bear with me. Okay. Weird. Wolves over. Okay. Okay. Luckily, it's not live TV in it. Right, here we go. Weird Wolves, Overdrive.
dirt and blame, so much pain for so little gain. One more prize for every try, yet unwise, then it all dies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bloody awesome.
I love that bass solo.
Well done.
Love that.
So, how is the song being received, guys?
Very well. We could definitely tell. You know, we had released already 3 or 4 tracks before, and it's the beginning for us. You know, and this one definitely had like a big impact, much bigger impact than any of the tracks before, which was cool because it also brought people to our previous tracks, and we even had you know, some label contacting us and other people as well. So it's really interesting. Oh, wow.
It really is. And I said to you last time that, you know, what you're doing is completely at home with my community here. So, so just you guys watching, I'm not going to announce it when, but the Weird Wolves have agreed to do a live performance here on the Vaughn George channel at some point. So, and that is going to be exclusive and something we really, really look forward to. So 4 tracks out now. I spoke last time. I'm hoping there will be an announcement for an EP or an album at some point. Is that something you're working towards?
It's very possible. We're you know, we're seeing how to make that happen, but there are, yeah, we have some songs in the that we're working on. So it could be either packaged as a EP or as a set of singles.
But probably.
You know, I was just watching the music video now, and obviously while the music video was playing, I could see your reactions, and I was watching you two laugh at certain parts because obviously it looks like you had a lot of fun while making that video. But there is a part on that song which I just go ape shit when it gets, you know, it goes that you've got that soft part where you're all playing the little keyboard, and then it kicks in with that dum 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 dum. Oh, Raf, that solo, man! I tell you what, that is, I mean, that is epic. Talk about a drop and then a kick in the face. I absolutely love that. But
Good.
no, that's good. You can send me the £10 later for the compliment. No, I really enjoy that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, guys, I've got my patron community here. I think we got about we got 20 people here tonight. As I said, I just wanted to keep it quite small, so you're not like intimidated by like 100 faces all wanting to ask you a question. But what I'm going to do is now to you guys on the Vaughn George YouTube channel, if any of you have a question for the Weird Wolves, you can just leave the question in the chat, and then I will try and get as many questions as I can. But I'm going to hand it over to the members of my patron community now. So guys, I just have one rule tonight, and I don't want to be bureaucratic. We don't want to turn this into a Depeche Mode discussion, because I think, once again, addressing the elephant in the room, we know that Ava Gore is Martin Gore's daughter. So please don't ask her questions like, when is the next Depeche Mode album coming out now? Because we want to focus this really on the Weird Wolves. And as I said on my previous video, is you know, there is no reliance on that connection here. These guys are totally, you know, competent on their own steam, and as we can see. But Ava, I just want to ask you one question, which is not Depeche Mode related, but Martin Gore related. And the question is, obviously Martin has a style which resonates with me and everyone in this community. Do you think that the way Martin presented himself and his persona and his music, do you think that influenced you a lot in the direction you're going at the moment?
I mean, I guess it kind of had to. I'm in the goth world. I wear a lot of black. I don't know, like I didn't mean to be influenced by him, but I feel like it just kind of happened.
And that's interesting you say that, because I really thought that would be your answer. I thought maybe, you know, if you're growing up as a young kid and your father's a rock star, he's got his fingernails painted black, and it's going to have an influence on you. So my next question was, if Martin Gore imagine if Martin Gore was like Rick Astley. Imagine if your father was like Rick Astley, like a cheesy pop star. Do you think you would have still taken this direction?
Like, would I still be goth, or would I be like Rick Astley?
Now, I think what I'm saying is, you've answered the question. Obviously, the way Martin has influenced you as an artist. If your father was a cheesy pop star, do you think that would have influenced you to become a cheesy pop star like Miley Cyrus or someone like that?
I mean, I hate to say it, but probably.
I see. Okay. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to open it up to the floor now. I see we got a lot of hands up there. Lloyd is my moderator. Lloyd, who's the first question, please?
I will, Carla.
Okay, Carla, you're first. And guys, just to say, Carla is one of my members, and she was actually so shy to ask the question. She actually wanted me to ask the question for her, but she's actually mustered up the courage. So Carla, your question to the Weird Wolves.
So I'll get it out of the way. Really nice to meet both of you. My question is for Ava. I've been absolutely captivated by the look that you have, and the costumes and the clothes. So I saw some of the stuff you've done on a runway as well. I wanted to know, where does some of that style come from? How do you choose your outfits when you're going on stage? Do you get somebody to make them? Is there some cool place in Austin I could check out next time I'm there that sells the kind of stuff you wear? How do you come to those outfits?
No one makes my clothes. I think over the years, a lot of Christmases, I've gotten a lot of clothes from my family. I can't think of a store in Austin, to be honest. I shop a lot online. Yeah, I don't know. There's like Killstar. I don't know. I just kind of like here and there get what I think looks cool, and then it kind of accumulates over the years. I hope that answered your question.
It absolutely does. Totally.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for the question, Carla. Right, Lloyd, who's the next question?
Tom. I'm not going to announce your last name, but we'll just say Tom.
Okay, Tom, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
Sure. Hi there. Just it's a question actually about football, because Ava, your father's quite a high-profile Arsenal fan, and I wondered if you inherited his love of the beautiful game, because as a Spurs fan, it's always been quite upsetting to me that Depeche Mode support Chelsea and Arsenal collectively, and also to Raphael as well. Do you like football, and if so, how does it form part of the creative process?
So out of all of the sports, I would say that football is my least hated, I should say. I'm not a huge sports fan, but I don't mind watching it. And so I don't have like a favorite team, but yeah, I hate other sports. And football is fine.
As for me, I've been here for 16 years in America, so I started to use the word soccer instead of football, which is really weird. But in my case, it's weird because I was born in France, but my mother was Italian, so I would always alternate between Italy and France. And at a very young age, people in Europe are so fascinated by football, so religious about it, and it's like almost like a war, that they constantly gave me shit, whether I was in France, if Italy would win or if Italy would lose. Either way, it would be a nightmare for me. Everybody, as a kid, everybody would either call me a traitor or mock me because the team from the other side of my family lost or won or whatever. So I kind of like developed, frankly, a rejection for football. And now I kind of reconcile with it a bit. So when it's the World Wide Cup, I do watch it and I enjoy it because I'm here, so nobody is really mocking me anymore.
Great, thanks.
Thank you very much. Next question.
Next question is Lee.
Lee Nash.
Lee Nash.
Hi guys. So originally I'm from London, but I do actually live here in Austin, Texas as well. So I'll be coming out to see you on the 31st at Swan Dive. So I'm going to try and snag a photo with you guys if that's not too much of a problem. But my questions are, so Rafe, you're a big gamer. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite game? And Ava, has Dad seen you play yet?
Okay, with the gamer question. My favorite game, I would have to, just naming just one is really, really hard. I would have to say Thief, the first Thief, because it's so immersive and it's kind of scary, and it's the first true stealth game that managed to make me feel really small in an environment that is very hostile, and that vulnerability feels amazing because at the same time you're extremely lethal when you can take people by surprise.
So my dad has come out to see us play, which I feel bad about that because I don't know if the word got out, so he was swarmed by a lot of people. But he sat through it and he was a good sport about it. So yeah, he watches all of our live streams. So.
Thank you for the question, Lee. Right, Lloyd, who's the next question?
Larry.
Right, Larry, your question for the Weird Wolves.
Okay, so first of all, it's good to meet you, Ava. You look extra beautiful today, and yeah, I just want to know, like, what was like the production behind Overdrive?
So process was really in almost 3 phases. The very first one, which was just the composition of the bass tune, and that was just guitar, frankly. It's just guitar. And then there was the second phase, which was our level of production, where take Logic Pro, make the arrangements, learn the song, see how we're gonna do the harmonies and who plays what, because we alternate between guitar and bass. And then we had that eventually that first cut of that structure with everything the way it came out, with the solo in the middle and all that. And then the third phase was to send all those stems, and those stems included, in fact, something that would be interesting would be to A/B the before production from Battle Tapes and after, because it's exactly the same song. You can A/B them, and you can see he's changed slightly the structure at the end, like he put the chorus again instead of like another, like, a longer outro or something. But that's about it. The rest is exactly the same, except that it sounds way bigger. There are more synths in the final version that Josh from Battle Tapes did. But it was, you know, we sent like in the version that you hear, a lot of the synths with ours, and most of the guitars, the bass, of course, is ours on the vocals.
Yeah, and you know, just to make this clear, you know, I really enjoy meeting different dots and like talking to them, like, because I find them more interesting than regular people, because you know they like the same music I like, they like the same, you know, the same stuff I like, and Ava, just to meet and be able to talk to a goth as beautiful as you are, it's just you know, it's just really amazing just to be able to like actually talk to. By the way, this rose is for you.
Oh, thank you. It's very sweet.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Larry. Right, Lloyd, who's the next question?
Dirk.
Dirk, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
Yes, hello guys. Very general question to the two of you, both of you. Why music? I mean, you have a background in video gaming. Yes, there's music, but there's graphics, story, management, finance, whatever. And Ava, okay, it's in your family, but so what? It's no automatism. So why did you both go into music?
Up to you. If you have something,
I
otherwise
can
I'll
start. So I did avoid it for a long time because of who my dad is, and I felt like no matter what, I would be in his shadow, and that's, you know, probably still true. But it's the only thing that makes me happy. Like, I can't think of anything else that I would rather do. So yeah, that's my answer.
As for me, I've always felt like the odd kid. I was playing role-playing games, pen and paper role-playing games when I was a kid. I was playing video games. I wanted to make video games. I wanted to write stories for RPGs. I wanted to make music. I was in a band when I was 15, 16. And I didn't want the straight life, the working thing. And, you know, I did not see the point. And I've been extremely lucky to make it in the video games and create video games and make money with that. I live of creating video games. And so part of that was adding music, which is another angle of artistic expression. And as a game director, it's a great way to touch the gamers with one more tool, my music and our music now, because initially I was just doing some of the music on my own, but now we do the Weird Wolf stuff in there.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Dirk. Thanks for your question. Right, before we take the next question from the group here, I just want to take a question from the YouTube channel. I can tell you guys the questions are coming in quite fast here on the YouTube channel. And a question here from AJ Brennan. AJ Brennan, he says, "What are your influences?" That's a good question.
That's always a hard question for me. I don't know. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, we probably have different influences, and some of them in common as well. For me, there's a lot of, I'll name a few bands, but or maybe eras. You know, like there's definitely the '80s, Sisters of Mercy, Cure, some of the Depeche Mode stuff. But I mean, you know, like all of those bands, frankly, of the '80s, the Police. And then later on, there was a bit of a layer of like more aggressive, more guitar based things like Pixies or Muse or even System of a Down. You know, it's very, very aggressive. So, and then I started to like super electronic stuff like Dead Mouse or things like Trent Reznor or so it's a little bit all over. But yeah, from I guess it's past three or four decades of music on the dark, always kind of on the dark side, you know, somehow.
The dark side. Yeah, I wonder how that happened. But no, those are good choices. Ava, I'm just looking at that tattoo on your arm there. Who is that?
It's American Psycho.
American Psycho, yes.
Because it looks like Barack Obama from here. So
no, it doesn't.
Well, no. Okay. Now that you're saying, yeah, it's Patrick Bateman from the American Psycho. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Why did you choose him?
It's one of my favorite like book/movies. I guess I'm a little messed up in
you are weird. Yeah. Yeah. Right, let's take another question. Lloyd, please. Who's next?
I can't answer that question if they want me to.
No, please do answer it. Sorry.
Okay. I was gonna say that I think my influences are a mixture of like all the different types of music that I listen to, and that is all over the place. And I listen to a lot of oldies from like the 50s and stuff, and like all the way up to, goth and whatnot. So I like to mix it all together, and then you have me. So there you go.
Yeah, so you guys have got your own tastes, but you sort of have common ground, and that's where you come together for the Weird Wolves. Fantastic. Sorry, Ava, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I didn't realize. Right. They say men trying to multitask is not easy. Right. Let's take the next question. Lloyd, who's next?
Martin.
Martin, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
Hi, guys. It's Martin from Germany. And to be honest, I was really blown away by that video, and I really like the sound and the power and everything. And do you think there will be more in that direction, so that you will be producing a record, with that sound and the power behind it? And then my second question will be, I would love to see you live, and would it be possible to come over to Europe for shows maybe in the next 2 years? Would be awesome.
I mean, we're gonna try our best to make it as big as that song, but I mean, yeah. Josh Boardman did that, and hopefully he can produce another one of our songs. But we kind of feel. Did you want to take it?
I think we're looking for. I mean, there's several ways to answer this question. Yes, first of all, there's probably going to be a few more, but also we've been trying to, it's still the beginning of the band somehow, and we are trying to find our sound, and that really helped us in one direction that we really like. But without naming specific bands, we both noticed the same thing. Like there are bands that really do the same song over and over. You take examples of that. Like in reality, they made one song, but they made it like for 10 years, right? And all the same arrangements, all the same, instrumentations and type of mixing, etc. And there are some bands that like go a little bit all over, right? And we also have examples of that. And right now we're a little bit in the all over place. So even though we're still goth somehow and in that range, but we don't want to lock it down to heavy beats and the same way Overdrive is, which we love that. It's and we've noticed how much people love it, and so there's more space for that in our sound for sure. But we're still in the finding our vibe exactly phase. So there's probably you'll notice some fluctuation in our style. But it definitely is something that we want to incorporate to some degree for sure, or entirely in some songs anyway. We just don't want to.
I'm very curious to hear more. Really, this song Overdrive is awesome.
Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. It plays in some clubs, by the way, which is incredible. We're amazed by that.
I wish I could go. In Germany, we are still pretty much in a lockdown. So.
Yeah, and to your point about are we playing in sometimes like in Europe or Germany, we of course would love that. It's a matter of economics. Like how does it work for us? Like because again, it's a world that we don't know very well, and organizing those kind of trips and booking is once we passed the idea of like, that would be really cool, we'd love to do that, then it's like, okay, how do we make this happen? And then it becomes more complicated.
Ava can ask her dad, he knows.
He won't tell us.
So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the question. Yeah, we spoke about this on the first interview I had with you guys, and we spoke about how a lot of music these days is so technologically driven. And something my channel is well known for is if I'm talking about an electronic album, what I will do is I will take the song and I will strip it down to piano. And forgive the reference, Ava, but this is where Martin's songwriting shines, is when and because I used to play in a piano bar many years ago, and I would play these piano songs, and often I would play melodies, and often there were people that came over and they went, "Oh my God, what is that song you just played?" And I went, "Oh, that's called A Question of Lust by Depeche Mode." And people going, "Depeche Mode, really? Was that?" So the point I'm trying to make is sometimes people are distracted by the electronic sound. If they don't like it, they dismiss it. But what I'm always illustrating is when you strip that away and you bring it down to its core fundamental tune, the melody, that's where the song wins. And this is something I'm making this announcement to my community. I'm going to take the song Overdrive and I'm going to do a piano improvisation breakdown on one of my videos, because I like to do that because it just helps us to hear. Because when we hear Overdrive, we hear this powerful, awesome song. But I like to strip that away and play it on the piano so people can go, hey, it's not only a kick-ass goth, technological ass-kicking song. It does have a great melody. So I shall do that. Right, monologue over. Let's take another question. Please, Lloyd.
Vincent.
Vincent, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
Hello, good evening, or whatever, good afternoon for you. I'm from Belgium, so it's good evening for me. First of all, the music, what I've heard from you is very, very promising, and I can't wait to hear more about it. That's one thing. Now, about the music and the composition, who comes first with an idea? Like a demo, I won't say a demo tape because we don't do that these days, but who comes first with an idea and, tell the other, okay, listen to this, I got something, or is it 50-50? How do you guys work? It depends on the songs.
Yeah.
It depends on the songs. But usually one of us will have like something that is advanced enough that then we present it to the other, and occasionally with sometimes we gather and then we improvise some stuff on top of each other, but usually it starts with one of us having something.
Yeah.
And as Vaughn said, a melody is the base of a song, and then after you can add layers and effects and sounds. Do you start with very acoustic, like acoustic version, very guitar voice, something like that? Yeah. Sometimes it's just the bass and a vocal line, on top. So you really just have two stripped down melodies, basically the bass one and then the vocals on top, and then the harmonies come in, because we usually harmonize with each other, which is kind of like an interesting thing that we do. Since it's kind of unclear who is the lead singer. It's probably she is the lead singer, frankly. Little by little, there are more and more songs where she really takes the lead. But on our first songs, it was kind of like half and half. But as you say, many other songs will come, and you will have probably different kind of songs where one will take maybe more the lead vocals, and another song it will be. Yeah, I can't wait to hear more from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Be careful, guys. You've opened a can of worms now. These guys are serious. So yeah, let us know. Let us know. Right, Lloyd, who's the next question?
Mike from Seattle.
Mike from Seattle, your question for the Weird Wolves.
Hello. So as creative people, obviously you're focused on music. I'm my day job is graphics, so but I also do music on the side. What are your other creative outlets besides music?
I like to draw. I like art. Yeah, I don't know, video games, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean,
Yeah.
we like photography as well. I mean, like
Yeah,
I think
modeling, yes.
yeah, for her modeling, taking pictures, taking photography. I got some decent gear, not pro. I mean, depend how you look at pro. Like that, it was yeah. I mean, in my case, of course, storytelling for video games. I do a lot of. And storytelling in video games is a mix of lore and plot writing, but it's also how do you offer a space of possibilities to players to feel like they're immersed in the world.
Right. I can see that kind of touching both sides of the brain, the creative side, analytical side, and it's a good bridge, I think.
Yeah, video games are good for that, but music is just the reason. I assume every musician thinks the same, but like I feel to me like it's a fast lane to people's heart, people's sensitivity. Like you go deep with just a few notes, and if people don't connect with you, it doesn't work on them. But when they connect, and I think that's why as kids, when we hear a song that really touch us, you feel possessed, and that's why that the person that wrote it feels real, feels like, oh my god, like they understand how I feel right now. And I think that's what's magical about writing music, is that if you can do that to people and you feel connected with them immediately.
Yeah, for sure. Cool, thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Lloyd, next question, please.
Erica has a question.
Erica, your question for the Weird Wolves.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. So, hi, I'm Erica from the Philippines. So, I don't know what time is it there. It's actually 3 a.m. here. But anyway, I would just like to say that you guys are really cool. You guys are fantastic. And as you know, I can relate because I'm also kind of a gamer and a little bit of musician as well. But yeah, with that, I just would like to ask, how do you guys deal with creative block if ever you do experience that sort of thing? And what is your message for aspiring artists out there as well?
For me, I don't try to force it. And I mean, I get really frustrated. But usually, like in those moments, my best ideas come when I'm trying to fall asleep, which is really frustrating also. Because like if I don't write it down before I fall asleep, I'll definitely forget. But I guess I would say just don't let it get to you too much. Like just separate yourself from it and collect your thoughts and just kind of go do something else for a bit.
Yeah, for me, I have, so in the video games, we need to create like this on a schedule, and that's can be frustrating. But on the music side, we don't really have to. It's kind of like it comes out when it comes out. So I can see the difference between forced creativity and more like free form creativity. And in the case of music, it's a gestation for me. It takes forever. Sometimes between the moment where I will find a little tune on the guitar to the moment that I finally go on Logic Pro and record it and do it, it can be 3 months, where it's just there, you know. And then once I go on Logic Pro, it's pretty much done. But like it's done in like a few hours because it just stayed for so long. And also, like a little similar to Eva, a lot of ideas come to me not when I mean, it's similar in the sense as if I go on vacation, for example, and my mind is super free from every type of stress. But then a few days later on the beach, I'm going to start to, ideas are going to start to come, not because I want it, but they just come. And but for the block question, yeah, that's a hard one because I tend to obsess. So if so, I just trust that the brain works in the background when you sleep, when you go to your grocery, or when you're with your friend, when you walk in the street, walking the dog. It even without really trying to think, there is like some sort of like a processor like somewhere that's working for free, and come back with the idea. So I trust that now, but I used to obsess.
Thank you for the question. Ava, if I can just elaborate on what you said there about, I have this thing as well, is when you, just before you're falling asleep, you tend to get these ideas. And there's a reason for that. Apparently it's when you're in a meditative state, you need to get yourself to that state just before you fall asleep. And that's how the yogis and stuff, they can keep themselves at that state. And that takes years of practice, because when we mere mortals get to that state, we just fall asleep. Now I am sympathetic to that. When I'm just lying down, I'll get this great idea, So I had a cure for that problem. I used to sleep with my phone next to me with a recorder ready, and I'd hit record. But that has turned out to be not very useful, because you wake up in the morning, you go, oh, what was that idea? And you get,
I've done that.
So yeah. So I need to, but I have to mention this as well. Ava, Martin actually said, he's actually spoken, because this is a question that people ask artists all the time. How do you do the writing process? And I think most artists have got a different way of doing it. Some people sit at a piano, some people say it comes in the shower, but I think we can all agree that the mind works in strange ways. And I think Martin said once, it's a very strange process. It's like a spirit takes over you, and you just, kind of hear it. And I think it's different for anyone. But yeah, I think I have many questions to ask God one day. Why did you design things in that way? Why couldn't it be simple, Anyway, right, let's take another question. Lloyd, who's next?
It's like Dirk and Larry and Martin again, but I got a quick question for Ava, if you don't mind me asking, Vaughn.
Go ahead.
In relation to the your favorite movie of all time, American Psycho, what's your favorite scene? And which one makes you laugh the most?
That's probably with Paul Allen in his apartment.
That's my favorite scene as well. Awesome. I thought you were going to say that. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
Okay, so we got Larry.
Larry, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if this question ends up going off topic, let me know and I'll change it. So this one is another one for Ava. What is your favorite song that your dad Martin has written? The things you said, somebody, or a question of lust.
That's I like all three of those songs.
Good answer. Good answer.
All right, so
next question, Larry.
All right, so whenever I look at you, Ava, whenever I look at you, I immediately think of A Question of Lust. But when I look at you and not think about Depeche Mode, I just see a beautiful figure that's just beautiful in every way possible. And I mean that. Like, you're the most beautiful goth that I've ever gotten to talk to today, and you're just beautiful, and there's just no way to else describe you.
Thank you.
Bless you, Larry. And, Well, can I just say, Ref, I think you're looking pretty hot yourself today, brother. So, and I'm engaged to a lovely lady, but I'm just saying, as a man, I think you're a great looking man. So there we go. I think coming on to that, to you guys watching on the YouTube channel, please feel free to submit your questions. I will take some questions from you. Your image, obviously, we spoke about this last time. Obviously, Rafa, you're into keeping fit and stuff like that. Ava, you as well, or not really?
She's young.
She's young.
Works for free on her.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. We got any more questions there? Who I see there's is it Martin? The next question.
Yeah, Martin. Yeah.
Martin, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
Yeah. So no worries. I'm already engaged and married, and so my question would be. So when did you realize you have a certain talent and you should use that? And that's a question to both of you. Because when I'm under the shower and try to sing, it sounds, very bad.
I mean, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. Like I can't think of a time of being alive where I wasn't like singing in the car or whatever. I started playing the guitar when I was 12, and I joined a band a cover band when I was 15. But then I avoided it for many years. But I don't know when I really was like, oh wow, I'm talented. It's just kind of like what I love to do.
For me, I always had the ear, but I didn't know it was a thing that not everybody has. So even as a kid, I did not have a piano, but a friend of mine had a piano, his grandmother's piano or something. And so when I would go to his place, I would play with the piano and I would reproduce songs that I heard, like The Cure or whatever, something that I liked. And it was very easy for me, very, very easy, that part, without knowing the notes or anything like that. And I never wanted to go into the notes. So I've always had this weird insecurity about not being a real musician because I don't know anything about music. Still to this day, I have no idea. If you tell me where's an A, I just don't know. And in fact, it's funny when people go and we're about to play the guitar and you play with some friends that, some people that you never really played with and say, well, we start in G. And I'm like, all right. So I never really, compared to real musician, I've always had this insecurity. So I've never felt talented so much. And frankly, even before, I think, there were a few songs before Weird Wolves that were part of music of the video games that people liked, but could be just because it's a video game and they like it because it's part of it. But since the band, we've, so it's been, So to your point, it's not really a moment where I realized anything. It's just I'm doing it because I enjoy it, and as long as I have feedback that people somehow enjoy it. But believe me, I feel super insecure about music in general. I always like people like this.
Right, thank you, Dirk. I know that was Martin. Right, the next question is for Dirk. Dirk, your question.
Okay. You briefly mentioned the scheduling for producing video games, and then we said you can't really schedule creativity. So as a band, do you have routines or schedules or anything? How do you work? How do you organize yourselves?
I mean, we see each other all the time. We don't really have a set schedule or routine. It's just kind of, we see each other almost every day. So, yeah, I don't know. Do we don't really.
No, it's more like we got habits, but we don't. Yeah, we don't really have we don't really have a specific. We are accessible to each other enough that it just works well this way. We don't have to organize some schedule or whatever like that.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it feels good. It's organic.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dirk. Right. Next question is Lee Nash. Your question, sir.
Guys, so would you say that some of your music is influenced by the vampiric kind of romanticism type of thing?
I don't
I'm saying because some of your slower stuff, I feel, you know, with like the goth, you kind of had, you know, vampires and all that kind of stuff. And I just wondered if maybe that as a genre kind of influences you as well in your music.
I wouldn't say particularly, like for me, maybe not so much, but there are a lot of vampires in Austin. But I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. On my end, I would say it's hard to know exactly what you're influenced by, right? Sometimes it's unconscious.
That's true.
And sometimes I'll write something and I think like, that sounds very Cure, or you know, so I recognize that part. Okay, oh, that, you know, Robert Smith could have written that kind of thing. I mean, or maybe not. Maybe he would have written something better. But I mean, it's like in my ear, that's how it would sound. You know.
Do you feel that could be like a conflict sometimes when you're thinking about other bands from like Typo Negative and all that kind of stuff, that maybe you feel like maybe you're writing along something that they've already done? Is that kind of a conflict for you?
Sorry, what's the story of Typo Negative? Did they write something that was already done?
Okay, so I just picked them at random because they was like a, you know, a goth band, you know, and you saying you pick something you think that maybe Robert Smith had written, and you maybe.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, in the style of, I mean, like, first of all, I never tried to write something in the style of, and I don't think I've ever written something thinking, oh shit, that was already this guy wrote it. But sometimes you know, there's a song called Last Faith, which I don't, it's in one of our streams, so it's not a released song. But the solo, and that's kind of an afterthought. The solo, I you know, when you name your tracks, and I was like, sounds like a Cure solo, so I call it Cure solo. But as an afterfact, not an afterthought. Sorry, not as a intention.
I mean, there's so much music in the world that, like, I feel like no matter what you write, it's gonna sound like something that's out there.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Everybody kind of like is inspired and recycles other things and recontextualizes it and modernizes and add their own touch. So as long as it doesn't, you know, there's no intention of ripping off, I think it's okay to be inspired. So.
Thank you, Lee. Just elaborating on your point there, it's very true. Wherever you say there's so much music these days, it's hard to do something because everything really is going to sound like something. And this is a very human thing, is every time people hear things, they always want to put it into a box. And that is very annoying for artists, but people don't mean it in a bad way. So whenever you play someone something, they'll be like, oh, I like that. It reminds me of something. Now, that is something we as, you know, producers and engineers have learned. You never say that to an artist. Oh, you sound like this. No, you don't make the comparisons. But of course, the general public do that, and there's no bad intention. I mean, that is just a very human thing. That is how we survive. We create associations that keeps us safe at a sort of a primal level. So that's at a sort of like a deeper level. So we're always making associations. But I think with music, it's just, as you say, there is so much out there. And I was coaching one of my students this morning in a class, and when you're teaching people that don't understand anything about music, and you show them the octave and you go, there's 12 notes and that's all it is repeated, it kind of freaks their mind out because they go, is that all? And I'm like, yeah, that's all. And it's also fascinating for me because I also think, how is it that we can create so much music out of just those 12 notes? Anyway, just fascinating. I'm taking some comments from my YouTube channel now. There's quite a few people on there. One of the comments was, this is from Renee, saying, she basically wants you to do the new Resident Evil music because apparently the last one wasn't very good. So there we go. You guys, Renee, if you've got a contact, you can put them up for that. And here's a question for you, Raf. This is from someone called Dark Octaves. He's obviously a fan of yours. He goes, Raf, did you produce electronic music prior to the Weird Wolves project? It sounds like you are very comfortable in Logic.
Not really. I mean, I play with only, I mean, I do have some libraries that are outside of Logic as well, like, about the contact stuff, Substance from Native Instruments, but usually, no, not really. I mean, it's really since Weird Wolves where I've really played with synths and how to use them in Logic in a better way than just playing the notes, but also with the automations and playing with the variety of sweeps and knob twisting and stretching or whatever, that sounds fun. But no, it's a pretty recent process for me.
Right, thank you. I'm going to take another question. I see Larry and Lloyd, but I'm going to take a question from someone who hasn't had a question yet. Cheryl Morris, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
Hi there. Hi, nice to meet you. Are there any other instruments that you would like to incorporate into your music that you've not used or not tried before?
The triangle.
Mandolin. I mean, we're a little bit constrained about our live setup as well. So in a way, when we write, we always think about that. And so it would be, for example, if suddenly we need to play with a 5-string guitar, a bass or something, it would be, now we'd have to bring that as well, or so it would be a problem because we don't have roadies. so we try to be very minimal.
And I'm very small.
Which is very small. So I think we are, no, it's weird, but we're really trying to be minimal as much as possible. So we go on stage with 2 guitars, 1 bass, and then the backing tracks, our mics, of course. And that's about it. So when we write music, we try to go with that too. And synths or samples, allow you to do so much these days that we're not really trying to. Well, actually, one of the songs, I'm lying now. Like one of the songs is using, I think it's called a handpan. Am I right? Like it's that round thing that it's kind of like a hybrid between a percussion thing and an instrument and a musical instrument because it has notes, it has all the notes, but somehow they always work magically. They put all the notes that somehow you can't really mess it up. I think they use the black keys on there. And so a friend of mine came by on Eyes of Orion, which is one of the songs we've already released, and it's pretty popular. People love that song. And it has like a handpan that was recorded with a mic there, and it's cool, but it's not really our go-to thing. It's more like that was an opportunity, and why not? But yeah, there's so much you can do with samples that trying new instruments hasn't been really in our plan, but it's not like it doesn't mean that we won't.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, so you got a. Guys, raise your hand if you want to ask a question. I'm sure, Ed, you haven't asked a question yet. I know you've usually got a lot to say, mate, and not in a bad way. Right, Vincent's hand's just gone up. I want to take questions from people who haven't asked questions yet. Vincent, your question for the Weird Wolves, please.
I want to ask something about cinema. Do you guys love cinema?
Yeah.
Well, I guess Ava loves American Psycho already. That's for sure. My question is there any? Because you are influenced by music, obviously, coming from different time and bands and whatever. But is there any movie soundtrack that you could name as a reference, or something that really wow, that wowed you, in a way? Any movie you could mention for the music, especially for the soundtrack?
Yeah.
The Lost Boys.
Yeah, that's true. I'm probably forgetting some really cool stuff that is more recent, but for some reason, a lot of Ennio Morricone stuff come to mind for me. The Untouchables, for example.
I don't know.
American Psycho.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe there's nothing.
Oh yeah, no, I got a British show actually, which was outstanding to me, and it's called Utopia. You know that?
Utopia.
Yeah, you know that show? It's Utopia. It's called. It has, I believe it had 2 seasons, and then they stopped it. Fantastic show. And it's British. It's very dark, and the music is like all electronic, very unsettling all the time. It was remarkable, so remarkable that I really wanted to contact the guy from one of my games, but that never happened.
Eva, you had time to think about it now.
I'm still struggling.
That's okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Thank you.
Thank
I want to take another question here from the Vaughn George YouTube channel, which is we're streaming to at the moment. Here's a question, guys. It says, when is an album or a CD coming out? So obviously you've been doing singles, and this is a good question. Do you actually release on hard copy as well, or is it just digitally at the moment?
So far, it's just been digitally, but
I think because I've found in my community as well, and it's not something that I have influenced quite a lot of people. Not that I've tried to, but I'm always on about this thing of ownership. I'm a little bit old fashioned, you know. It's like when you put in a CD, you know, it's not the. I mean, look, you can put it on your phone and you can flip it on Spotify, but it's the whole experience of, you know, putting the CD in, reading the sleeve notes and stuff like that. And so there is a market for that. So will you guys be releasing on hard copy?
Well, right now we are printing some, but it's really for merchandising when we play live, because I think it's a nice thing. We can also autograph it, or, you know. But there's no. Well, I mean, first of all, before releasing a CD, I mean, the CD that we sell in on shows is a gathering of all our singles, basically. So it's not even an album per se. So in order to sell a CD, we probably would have to make an album. And right now we're still, you know, we don't have a date for that or anything like that. We're still like trying to find what's the best plan for us, or what's the best way to release our music. Because marketing wise, a lot of people, most of all bands that are starting, they will advocate for like one single at a time, maybe an EP, because it's not as much work as a full album, but it creates an event every time. So it's, if you're a smaller band like what we are, it might make more sense for now.
It does. And I think releasing a single these days, because people have short concentration spans these days, not because they're not intelligent, it's just that things come at you so quickly. So if you lock yourself away in a studio for a year to do an album, it's like drop the album. Whereas if you're bringing a single out, you know, constantly, it helps you grow. But on the question of singles is, you guys you've had, I don't want to say it's overnight success, but I mean, you've really released what, 4 or 5 songs, and to get this much sort of exposure and success from just 4 songs is very good, really, because I mean, it does take a long time to build a following. So I mean, to get to this level after 5 songs, I mean, how do you feel about that? Is it a trick? Is it a silly question, or? I mean, are you surprised by your success by that after 5 songs?
I don't know. I'm not good with words. I'll let him talk this time.
I was surprised. We don't have much reference.
Yeah.
You know, when we I hadn't been in a band since I was 20, 21. And then I was in a cover band maybe 10 years ago. That was a nightmare. And so as a cover band, we did not really try to measure our popularity, or we did not have a single, obviously. So now we just, we just did that thing and started Weird Wolves maybe 2 years ago. But like, frankly, the first years was really playing acoustic, etc. So it's not like we could compare it's not like we came in with expectations like one way or another. And now we do realize, compared to other local bands, that we have actually a lot of a reach, and some of it might be because some of our songs are linked as well to some of the video games, etc. So it might be one of the things. Or maybe we do music that people like, we might as well like that and enjoy that reality. Maybe, I don't know. It's so to your point, we are neither surprised, but we didn't have expectations either. So we're like, oh, maybe that's like, it is like this for everybody. We don't quite know actually how to take that. But it's good. And again, we do feel an acceleration. We do feel that, people are interested in our music, and that's great.
That's great. And it's great that you're a performing band as well, not just a studio act. Right, let's take a few more questions, and then I'm going to let you guys go, okay? Because I know you, Ava, you want to go to bed again. I know, you like your sleep in. Raf said, I'm giving away inside information. When I told him what time the stream was, he said, oh, that's about, Ava should be awake by that time. I thought to myself, my God, you guys are vampires, aren't you? Right. Larry, quick question for the Weird Wolves.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about Ava's tattoos. Like, what was the most painful one that you had?
I have one right here.
Oh yeah, I would have figured that, because like the stomach is like probably like the most sensitive area of like the body.
Hours.
Yeah, but I will agree with Vaughn to this. You are weird, but you're the good kind of weird.
I can just say there, Ava, you've got yourself a fan for life with Larry there. Yeah, he's one of our hardcore fans. Yeah, and he speaks straight from the heart. Right, Lloyd.
I'm a stud. What do you expect?
Yeah, of course. Your studs always speak from the heart. Right, Lloyd, your question.
Hi, Raf. With your game developing background, is there any chance that you're going to incorporate your music into maybe a game you develop one day? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, on actually the game that I'm doing with my company, Wolfi, we're making Weird West, and it's shipping this year. And we have maybe some of the music is ours, is Weird Wolves music. So there's a lot of weird and a lot of wolves in my life. So that comes this year, and we're doing some of the music for it.
And what's the game called again, Raf? What was it called again?
Weird West.
Weird West, Weird Wolves. Okay, I like this. All right, thanks for asking my question, Raf. Thank you.
Thanks, Lloyd. We have another question from Carla. Oh, Carla, the one who was too shy, she's asking a second question. Go on, Carla.
Now that I've had a chance to get to know you guys a bit better, I'm just wondering, there's a lot of authenticity in your music, or at least that's how it comes across, and the performance. And I'm just wondering what role Austin as a place, what role that's played, because it is so accepting. I lived there 20 years ago, of people from all different backgrounds, and it's just a bit of a melting pot. I don't know how much it's changed, but whether that sort of helps to free you to do something different and not feel like you've got to put yourself in a box or align with a particular tribe.
Yeah, I mean, Austin is definitely, it's weird for being the capital of Texas, but it's nothing like the rest of Texas. And it's very open. There are a lot of weirdos, and I love it. I think that definitely helps, like living in Santa Barbara was not the ideal situation for me, because they were all like preppy kids that did not like my clothes, and like, you know, they were just mean for no reason. And I felt like that just kind of cut off my creativity completely. But yeah, living here has helped me personally a lot. So.
Yeah, and also the fact, I think, that we're doing music for people who want to relate to us, and we you know, we're not making it from a space of how do we make money with this. Hopefully we will eventually, because I think that's how a niche becomes popular. Like, suddenly there's a lot of niche products that are actually popular and making money, but the starting, the intention is not there. The intention is to do our thing and be as true as we can be to ourselves. And if people like it, then that's amazing. But we're not compromising. We're not trying to create an image that we're not.
Yeah, it comes across. It's really
Thank
great.
you.
I hope next time I'm in Austin, which will be as soon as this wretched thing is over, I will definitely come see you guys.
Awesome. Thanks.
Well, that's just sort of echoing on Carlo's words there. You know, I think it was Tom who asked the earlier. Oh, sorry, Tom's the next question, but someone asked the earlier question if you're coming to Europe, and I would hope you would come to the UK, because I can promise you there's a huge market for what you're doing here, and of course I will, with my channel, try the best I can to, you know, get the word out. And the great thing is, in London here, there are venues. There are huge venues, and there are venues, and there are smaller venues. And I think I could see you guys playing at a place like, I don't want to think too small, but I'm just saying these things have to be economical, you know. Like there's a place here called the Garage. I think is it in Chalk Farm? And that's a 600 people venue. And those are always my favorite kind of gigs, kind of like academy.
Better sound, better audio.
Yeah, better, the audio better, and it's also nice because you're closer to that. So I really look forward to I look forward to that happening next year sometime. I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to believe that that's going to happen for you guys. So I'd really love that to happen. Right, Tom, let's get a question from you.
Yeah. Hi. If you could both take any one song to a desert island, what would it be and why?
Wow, just one.
That's hard. Oh man. There's so many songs in the world.
My answer might be very depressing. I mean, it's just one, right? But I probably would take a dark song. I'd probably take something from Sisters of Mercy, personally. I mean, if it's a desert island, it's going to be very sunny. So I can go dark on the music, right? Right. I might take Mary Ann from Sisters of Mercy.
Oh, great, yeah.
I'm gonna say, I want to say like Ray Charles, but
Ray Charles. Okay.
Oh wow.
That's great. That just shows how eclectic your taste is. You know, that's amazing. That's amazing. Right. That's a great question. Let's take one more question here from Petra. Petra, your question for the Weird Wolves. Hello, Petra. Are you there? Oh, you've got to unmute yourself. Where's she gone?
Here. I'm sorry. Hi, guys.
Oh, there you are. Don't be shy.
I don't really have a question, but I wanted to come across with a huge compliment, because I really, that sound of that video, which we've just seen before, that really hooked me. And please do me a favor, stay as you are and keep on what you're doing, because the way your two voices play together, the sound of it just got me, and it's so fascinating, because I don't know. I can pack it into words. It's so amazing, and it sounds really cool. I like it. I like it because I cannot put you into a drawer because your music sounds so new and refreshing, and it opens up my heart. You really got me as a fan of the very first beginning. Thank you. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Very, very kind. Very nice to see you.
No, that's great. I just, as I said, there's a lot of love for you here in this community. There really is a lot of love, and I echo what Petra says there. I love your dark persona, but strip away the makeup, you're beautiful souls, and I really like that about you guys. I just want to ask just a couple of questions on before we go. Before we let you go, let you go to bed again, Ava, and Raph, you do what you do. Obviously, that video that you did came out really, really well. And if you could just explain to us, because I think you mentioned on the making of that video, obviously you will use your camera to come up with a concept, and you'll get someone in with, as you said, Raph, you said with proper equipment to do it. That video has got a very creepy look. And what I love about that is it is creepy. I love the part where Ava's like screaming like a nutter. It reminds me of that movie, The Craft. Do you remember that movie, The Craft?
The Craft? No.
The Craft. Listen, Ava, I'm sending you guys a link. If you're a goth fan, you've got to see that. It was The Craft from like an 80s goth movie. Anyway, I don't want to lose my train of thought here. Just looking at you guys and how scary you are, and then seeing you, how lovely and sweet you both are. Looking at the way that video was filmed, you spoke about you filmed it in half time, and then it gets speeded up to give it that jerky look. But of course, that makes it very difficult to synchronize your words to the backing track. Do you want to just explain a bit how you guys did it?
Yeah, we actually performed half speed. So we used Logic Pro.
And you slowed it down. You reduced the track half speed.
Reduced this, simply. Let's use it at 50%. Made an MP3 out of it. Brought it to the venue. It's called the Elysium here in town. And then before that we practiced. We practiced a lot to this song. And a detail that might come across in the video: the lights are synchronized as well. So it's not only slowed down, but the beats that comes with it and all the MIDI information that go to the lights are synchronized to the beat still. So when it even though it's played back at half speed, have the light coming on, coming off on the beat, right? And so like we practice playing and singing at half speed, which was not that hard. I mean, it's sometimes it is.
Yeah, it was just a little. It felt really ridiculous, like we're alive.
But it's exactly the thing you want, because it was the Japanese horrors. They started that movie, The Craft. Not The Craft. I'm going to send you a link to that. What was that? That girl that fell down. Oh, The Ring. That girl coming, and the way that really creepy, and the way they did what that was, it's I know they film it at half speed and they speed it up, and that's exactly what you guys did. It gave it that jittery kind of feel. It just gives it a very sort of because the movement looks unnatural, so it just gives it a very erratic look. And
unsettling. And we had a happy accident with one of the cameras where the guy, it's called Harry Gustafsson. One of his cameras was the SD card was too slow, so it was a little choppy, and it was filming half speed. I mean double speed, because it was filming like 60 frames a second. Because then we're going to accelerate it and lose a frame so that at 30 it would look like the way it does. And but it was more like a result of 20, because it was skipping frames as well during the performance, and he didn't know that, and so he was all bummed out, because when he tried to look at his footage, he realized that one of his camera was all choppy like that. But it actually played to the weird to advantage, so that worked out.
To the weirdness of it, because it's got this kind of like found footage kind of feel to it, almost like someone's picked up a camera and filmed these weirdos, and then it's got that kind of look. So well done, really, really love it. Well, listen, Weird Wolves, we're going to let you go. I want to thank you, and to everyone here in the community. We're going to say goodbye to the Weird Wolves now. And I'm also going to stop the stream on YouTube. I want to say to the YouTube channel, guys, if you haven't checked out the Weird Wolves, check them out. You're going to be seeing them a lot on this channel, whether they like it or not. And they've already promised, date pending, to do an exclusive live performance for us here right on the Vaughn George channel. Guys, we're really, really excited about that. So Raf and I are just going to discuss how we do that technically, but I've got a lot of geeks on the community here, so I really, really look forward to that. Raf?
Yeah, we are excited too. Thank you.
Raf, Ava, it is always an absolute honor to have you, and I hope to see you guys very soon.
Yes, I am also excited for the performance on Vaughn's channel. And Ava, before you go, in the words of Robert Smith, however far away, I will always love you, however long I stay.
Did he just get, he just got muted? Bless her. Ava, I can see you're changing color there. Bless her, she's blushing. But no, that is genuine sincerity and admiration from a community that is absolutely behind you guys and gunning for you. You are always at home here in the Vaughn George channel. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will see you
Thank
guys.
you.
Ava.
Yeah, nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.